It's time for Real Trash.
Building and hey, I was
Second
reading
history
that.
Class, reports
You're out
from
of
last
luck.
week are to be handed back.
Okay.
Here, as in many other classes and studies, written reports are an important part of the work.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
On his
baby.
report, Bill put a little time into his, too. But it was hard for him. Hard to keep his materials in order. Hard to plan a coherent report.
To be fair, Bill has to remind himself
Because
to
orderly
breathe.
planning of reports is so
That's
important.
so true. Oh, yeah.
Miss Clark is asking for a working outline with the next assignment. Bill thinks outlines are unnecessary work.
He feels the same way about
Skill
wiping.
in building an outline might help him. Lack of outline planning. Oh, well, it's still a fair paper. It got by.
Words that will haunt Bill later in life when he's using a dead raccoon as a pillow.
Bill and Jim plan to use the next study period in the library. But how did Jim make out?
Speaking
Bill
of
is
making
curious,
out,
because he knows he spent more time reading and gathering material than Jim did. Look at that. Very good. And what's this? A good outline saves work. Bill doesn't see it. The time it takes
Bill's a
study time
figment
in
of Jim's
outline
twisted imagination.
Shyamalan
outlining work
twist.
may save time later. What's on that card? Oh, the topic he's chosen. Benjamin Franklin, Diplomat General. But first, he's made a note to do a little extra reading on how to make good outlines. Meanwhile, Bill is off to a flying start on his topic.
Oh, narrator, you catty bitch.
20 minutes later, Jim hasn't even touched a history book. Yet he must be finding something good in this one.
The bookish
Making
friend.
outline summaries. That's right to the point. And of course, Jim takes careful notes. That's rather like outlining, too. Reducing material you read to an organized list of its main ideas.
Anastasia likes being spanked.
But Bill is worried about Jim. Thinks he ought to be finding facts about Franklin. Well, Jim wants to learn first how to organize his facts so they have orderly meaning.
Jim knows that disorganized
An
thoughts are
outline
the devil's
spreads out your
playthings.
thinking so you can look at and plan the use of your ideas. Jim is listing various uses for outlines.
An outline about outlines. We're going to need a flowchart for this one.
Yes, outlines can be used for many purposes. And one of the most important uses is help to understand written materials, such as the book Jim is now studying.
Without an outline, Jim would never grasp the
And now,
Necronomicon's
as long
dark
as he's taking
secrets.
notes on the book, why not arrange them in outline form? First, when to use an outline.
Jim is this close to
Reading
becoming an
books,
outline-themed
When
Batman
planning
villain.
study, as a first step in writing a report. How to make an outline will be the second main topic, Roman numeral 2. But Jim will have to collect some more information on how to make an outline.
Jim's report
Somewhere
on
in
Ben
this
Franklin
chapter-
was due
here it
weeks
is.
ago.
A section on the mechanics of outlining. That's just what Jim wanted.
Jim's given up ever knowing the touch of a
He
woman.
already knows that one of the steps in building an outline is finding main topics and subtopics. Main topics, the most important key ideas,
For example, that the Mafia faked the moon landing.
and subtopics, the helping ideas, which explain their main topics. And of course, subtopics are indented and given different numbering than main topics.
Pregnant women and the
And
elderly
so,
should not
in
attempt
very little
subtopics
time,
without a
Jim
doctor's
has made a
approval.
rough outline of the points he needs to consider in using outlines and making outlines in any of his studies.
To outline his outline about outlines, Jim considers another outline.
Plenty of time left to get the first few books he'll need for his report. Without an outline.
Dimension hopping shaves off valuable
That
seconds.
evening, Jim revises and polishes his outline on outlining. Let's go over Jim's outline once more. First, using an outline. Some of the
Look
most
out for
valuable
ghost
uses
pencils
are
trying to erase your
understand
work.
Written material,
Ghost pencil.
to plan study, and to plan a theme or report. The steps in building an outline are finding main topics and subtopics,
And microtopics
showing
and
emphasis by
subatomic
means of
nanotopics.
indentations and letters and numerals.
madness.
But now he has added one more, wording topics effectively.
Ben Franklin was a
So
syphilitic
Jim is
wig
using
collector.
an outline to plan a written report. And he is well along on the first step in building an outline. He has selected his main topics on the basis of his library reading.
And tries not to think about the naked ladies
Now,
he
as
saw in
reads
the art
further,
history books.
He can place almost any related facts as subtopics to these four main topics. This is one of the big time savers that come from making an outline.
Yeah, because if you're watching this, you're clearly concerned about
As a
not
further
wasting
step in
time.
organizing his material, Jim keeps note cards on his readings, identifying the book from which each fact or idea came.
The Anarchist's Cookbook.
In this book, for example, he found some information on Franklin's work in raising money to help the revolution.
Whoa, Ben Franklin invented
As he
Kickstarter,
reads
too?
the section for the second time, Jim takes notes on it, so the information will be right at hand when he starts his paper. He also adds a subtopic to his outline on Franklin.
Illuminati, lizard people.
Under main topic 3 comes subtopic A. Franklin helps raise French financing for the American Revolution.
People under 30 are probably wondering what this weird loopy writing is.
And to help keep his note cards in order for writing the report,
Oh my God.
Jim jots down on the card its place in the outline. Now Jim's outline serves another purpose.
A powerful
It
sedative.
not only helps him plan his thinking about the report, it also helps him keep his notes in order. But the outline is still flexible.
Oh, good. Still time to include Franklin's
As Jim
controversial
reads
jazz
further,
flute
he
career.
can change and revise it. His ideas are down on paper, so he can organize and plan them into a logical order.
Meanwhile, Bill's outline is just some feces he smeared
He
on the
found a
wall.
subtopic which should come before the other. Well, that's easy to handle.
He's got 2 A's in a row there. This whole outline is a sham.
If they don't fit together in one order, he can change the order now before he starts writing the report.
After he views Coronet's 17-part series,
And so
Revising
chances are
Responsibly.
when Jim has completed his outline, he'll have a real foundation for an orderly report. And he'll save time in writing it.
I bet they'll make me prom king for this.
The day the history reports are due, Jim has his all finished, and with time to spare.
So now he can look
But
at the art
Bill
history
still
books
has
some
to
more.
Copy the rest of his rough draft. And he has no outline. Bill's been in this spot before. Outlines are easy to write up.
Yeah, if you're a
All you have to
nerd.
do is
Bill's got a
list the
life,
outline
man.
right out of the report. Then it's sure to be an outline of what you wrote. But Bill's report is not well organized, and the outline will show it.
Everyone will point and
Bill
laugh,
can't
chanting,
make a good outline
shame,
from a fully
shame.
organized report. If his outline is right, the report will be wrong. Have to think fast, Bill.
Fake your own death. Start over in Mexico.
Somehow or other, Bill did manage to hand in his report that day. And today it's being returned. It's the same story this time as last.
Except Jim is
Bill
more
worked
smug than
long and
ever.
hard on his report,
Jim.
but Jim's carefully organized effort shows up in a better grade. And say, here's an idea. Try outlining your reading assignment.
And the spiral of
Jim
outlining
had that in his
addiction
outline
takes
of
another young
outlining,
victim.
But he should try it. He can still improve his work. Well, Bill, how about yours?
Come on, Bill, you're a white male in
Come
the
on,
40s.
Bill,
You'll be
give up
fine
and
no
look
matter
at it.
what.
Not good, huh? You mean not even fair? Too bad.
You just lost sweater vest privileges, Bill. Turn it over. Come
But
on.
Bill seems to be making up his mind to really learn something about outlines. What Jim can do, anyone can do.
Coronet, we outlined Alfred Higgins' wife last night.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah.
It's time for Riff Tracks.
Copyright by Riff Tracks, all rights reserved.